So here's the moment everyone keeps talking around, but almost no one is actually addressing: the microphone. That simple, ordinary mic revealed more about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's relationship than any palace insider, official press release, or so-called royal expert ever could. It was easy to miss if you blinked. But when Harry held onto the mic and chose not to hand it over to Meghan, that wasn't a slip. It was deliberate. A subtle yet awkward power play in front of the cameras, the spotlights, and an audience that didn't quite know how to react. Meghan, as expected, tried to step in. She moved forward uninvited, wearing an outfit that looked wrinkled and out of place for the occasion, trying to insert herself into a moment that clearly wasn't hers. But this time, the usual formula didn't work. The crowd stayed silent. Harry barely acknowledged her. The man who normally lets her share the stage didn't even turn his head, let alone offer her the spotlight. There was no passing of the mic, no gentlemanly gesture. No ladies first, just silence, stares, and a very public shift in control. And here's the remarkable part. Nobody in the mainstream media is talking about it. Instead, they're still clinging to the outdated royal power couple narrative, while ignoring the obvious. Meghan wasn't even scheduled to be on that stage. Yet there she was, forcing her way into the moment, only to end up looking like an uninvited guest. Harry's expression spoke volumes. When she tapped him on the back, his face seemed to say, "Here we go again." The atmosphere changed instantly, not with romance or admiration, but with discomfort, the kind that makes people silently think, "Don't make this uncomfortable." This is the same man who once happily handed her the mic in front of the world. Now, he kept it. That's not an oversight. It's either frustration, a change in dynamics, or both. Meghan did what she always does, smiled, pretending everything was fine. But no one was convinced. The audience didn't clap, the team on stage didn't react, and Harry just kept speaking. Slowly, Meghan realized she wasn't part of the scene and walked off quietly, like a guest who had overstayed their welcome. So why isn't anyone replaying that moment? Why no headlines, no endless reruns of the clip like they do with every forced smile or minor gesture? Because it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't match the modern royals in love story the media wants to sell. But this was raw. This was awkward. This was real. And real is exactly what the press tries to avoid when it comes to Harry and Meghan. Meanwhile, across the world, another small but significant detail slipped by unnoticed. Ukraine's government referred to Harry as His Royal Highness. Think about that. The very title he supposedly lost, the one the palace was said to have taken away. Yet there was no correction, no statement, no denial from Buckingham Palace. Why? Maybe because Harry isn't as far removed from the royal family as we're told. Maybe the palace is quietly keeping both options open. Either way, it wasn't a mistake. In politics, protocol is never random. So between the cold shoulder on stage and the silent recognition abroad, what do we actually see? A man caught between two worlds, a woman desperate to hold on to the spotlight, and a palace that says more through silence than with words. Harry may look like he's halfway out of the royal bubble, but he's still very much entangled in it. The California lifestyle, podcasts, sunny polo matches, the illusion of freedom doesn't erase the signs. Who he travels with, how he's addressed in formal events, who still manages his movements, these are the real clues. And Meghan, the once magnetic presence is slipping. She used to dominate every lens, every frame, every headline. Now when she steps onto a stage uninvited, people aren't captivated. They're confused. The magic is gone. What's left is tension. That's why the Kevin Costner event was so telling. Meghan wasn't expected, she wasn't on the schedule, yet she appeared, inserting herself into a moment that wasn't hers. Nobody stopped her, but the discomfort was unmistakable. Cameras rolled, but the silence was louder than applause. Her frustration showed, the forced smile, the strained calm, the visible frustration afterward when the attention didn't come. Witnesses say the moment she was off camera, the smile disappeared. And Harry? You can only imagine the car ride home. This isn't just a marriage under pressure. It's a partnership where one is clearly losing control and the other is pretending nothing's wrong. Meanwhile, the press dangles stories of reconciliation, claims that Harry will reunite with King Charles in 6 years. 6 years? That's oddly specific, more like a placeholder, designed to keep the brand alive. to keep the money flowing and the Netflix deals relevant. Because at its core, this isn't just about a couple. It's about power. Who has it? Who lost it? And who's struggling to hold on to the illusion of it? And the more you look, the clearer it becomes. The fairy tale didn't just end, it unraveled on stage, in silence, in a mic that never left Harry's hand. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was subtle. A wrinkled dress, a forced smile, and a moment that revealed far more than words ever could.